Ms. Thayer, you are here today in hopes of saving what is left of your marriage. In doing so, you've summoned your husband, Mr. Thayer, to paternity court to prove that not only did he father your 19-month-old daughter, Cadence, but also your 3-year-old son, Matthew Jr. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thayer, you say you absolutely do not trust your wife, and you are prepared to get a divorce today when the results reveal that either one or both kids are not yours.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Thayer, what is the current status of your relationship with your husband?
We don't even have sex anymore. What married couple doesn't have sex? We're young. It's the back and forth, arguing all the time. We argue so much that my son is starting to get mad and yell and repeat some of the stuff that we say. And I want to prove to him that these are his kids. I've done nothing wrong to him for him not to trust me and for him to say that these aren't his kids. And I have 5 kids total, and he treats the 3 oldest kids better than he treats his own kids. And I don't feel like that's fair. And I mean, this is the last resort.
So this doubt is wreaking havoc in your marriage.
Yeah, in my mind, we're basically separated because we don't sleep in the same room no more. When we're around each other, she's on her phone, and we just sit in the same house, and we don't even communicate no more. So I don't feel that connection with her or the kids, for that matter.
And all of this is because of the doubts.
Yes, Your
with
Honor.
regard to the paternity of the 2 youngest children.
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to understand how this all started.
When we first met, she told me that it was clear that she did not want a relationship. She just wanted friends with benefits, and I wanted the same thing. I didn't want a relationship at that time.
Ms. Thayer, what's this open thing? You do what you do, I do what we do, we're in a relationship. What is that about?
I've been in some really bad relationships to where I just didn't trust men. I even went through a phase where I started dating girls for a little while.
So what you're saying is this whole open thing that you agreed to was not because you wanted to have access and opportunity to sleep with other people. It was so that you didn't have to expect fidelity or expect him to not cheat.
Yes, Your Honor.
At some point, you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
And what happens from there?
I didn't know what to say because I wasn't planning on having any more kids. I mean, I had 3 girls already, so I was already a single mom.
Were you all using protection?
No.
Well, then you were planning on having another baby.
That is correct.
Fail to plan to fail.
And then I believe she was pregnant before we even got together, because Matthew was born 3 weeks early, and she told me about 3 weeks in that she was pregnant. So that's where that doubt comes in for him.
So you felt like you met, you all were sleeping together, not using protection, but then when she came up pregnant, you thought it was a little too soon.
Yes, and that's after he was born that I started putting those pieces together.
You began doing the math.
Yes.
Ms. Thayer, I need to know from you, do you remember around which date you felt like you conceived Matthew?
I believe I conceived Matthew September 10th. And the reason that I feel that way is because that night he had a hotel party, and after his friends left, we stayed and we had sex about 3 or 4 times that night alone. I mean, he knows my conception date. This is not new to him.
So your conception date, you say, was around September 10th?
Yes.
All right, 2012. So if we calculate, the child should be born somewhere between June 2nd and June 9th. When was Matthew born?
May 18th.
Oh, so there's your doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
And look, babies do come early. But you claim she was with somebody else approximately 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
See, you feel emotional because
it hurts. I mean, I love him or I wouldn't have married him. This is the person that I want to spend my life with.
This is my first child too, Your Honor. I was excited because I didn't have no kids, I didn't have a family or anything, and she was gonna give that to me. And I wanted that. This is something that I really do want. I want a family of my own that I can grow with, and I can watch them grow, and I can teach them all the things that they're supposed to do in their life that I didn't do in mine.
And so why do you doubt her so much?
Just because of some of the things that she says when we do get in arguments. She brings up the fact that she would sleep with somebody else. That's like puts a big seed in my head, thinking that she's gonna go do that. And I work 11-hour days. So there's plenty of time during the day for her to put the kids down to sleep and go mess with somebody, clean up, and then I come home and give her a kiss like I normally do when I come home.
So because of these trust issues, you've asked the court to administer a lie detector test.
Yes.
We did in fact do that, and I will have those results for you in just a bit.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to go to your doubt surrounding Cadence. That is your younger child. You all have 2 children together, potentially.
Yeah, because around the time that she was conceived, we weren't really having sex.
You find out she's pregnant again, and immediately doubt.
Yes. How are we gonna have a kid if we don't have sex?
So you testified earlier, Ms. Thayer, that you were in a sexless marriage.
Yes. I mean, when he's talking about with Cadence, I uprooted my whole life for him. So for me to uproot my whole life and do all of this stuff for him, and then for him to turn around and say stuff like, I have doubts, I don't think that I'm only around you, I'm not around anybody else. I don't see why you would think I would waste my time.
But I don't know that, Your Honor.
That
I'm not so certain that she's only with me, because I'm not there all day, every day with her.
We lived with
But what he was saying is during that trip, he claims you weren't intimate.
We were at least 4 times. We were.
In the house that we were staying in, it was my aunt's house in Mexico. So it was almost impossible for us to be intimate.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. When you talk about your lack of trust, It's real. I can see it in your eyes. You really don't trust her.
Yes.
What in the world has gotten you to the point
What?
where you can't trust this woman?
I seen text messages between her and somebody else, old times they spent together and how much fun they had. And it just leads me to one thought, and she's talking to another man.
He doesn't understand. I wouldn't have married him. I've been in so many relationships throughout my life that I chose him to marry. This is the person that I chose to marry. This is the person
And
that
I chose you
to spend
too.
My life
Like, you
with.
weren't the only one. Like,
But not as much as I've caught him in his phone. We were having sex one night and he rolls over. We haven't even put our clothes on yet. And he's texting another woman. He loves her. So you've never seen me text "I love you" to anyone else.
this was after after I seen the messages that she was sending. So when I seen that she wasn't all the way faithful with me, of course I'm not gonna be all the way faithful with somebody else. And
He's just started unlocking his phone since we got married. He just started unlocking his phone. His phone has been
That's
locked
not
our
true.
whole relationship until around the time, about a month and a half before we got married. Then he unlocks his phone. I
That's
knew
not
how to
true.
get in his phone, but his phone stayed locked. It stayed locked.
my phone did not.
Well, now you know. She knows how to get in your phone. Mr. Thayer, as I listen to this testimony, do you think this is insecurity or infidelity? Because they're two different things.
The arguments that we had when she was first pregnant with Matthew, about a month into the pregnancy, is when she saw those messages, and we did actually separate for about 3 months.
Have you ever been cheated on in the past?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Because I lost trust in all women as far as relationships go.
But that's not my fault though. So that's like me saying I've been in a bunch of relationships.
But the things that you say when we get in arguments, though, that's what I'm talking about.
Kat, and I get petty sometimes. I absolutely do. But a lot of the stuff that you've done, what you need to realize, a lot of the stuff that you've done has hurt me a lot. And I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of walking on eggshells. I'm tired of being miserable. It's not fair. It's not
you're not
fair
the only
to my
one in this,
daughter.
though.
It's not fair to our son. It's not fair at all. I wouldn't have named your son after you. I wouldn't have gave you a junior if I'm 1,000% sure that these are your kids.
And that's why I'm here, so I can find that out for sure.
Ms. Thayer, you were in court today saying you have never cheated on your husband.
I have never cheated on him. The only time that I've ever messed with anybody else is the break that he's talking about, because what happened was when I saw that text in his phone that I told you about, I asked him about it. He shrugged his shoulders like it didn't matter. And that's all that I got out of him. I didn't get a why. I asked him why he was doing it. Do you not want to be together? Like, what is the issue?
I did tell you
Because
when we had
I've
that
been a
argument.
single mom for so long that I'm not trying to go into another relationship and then just be like, oh, well, I'm going to be a single mom again. That's not what I want. He's attached to my other kids.
And that's why these DNA results mean so much, because it's not just about Matthew and Cadence.
This is not boyfriend and girlfriend. We took vows to be together. And that's, I'm going to stand by those. I'm going to stand by those. These are his kids.
And
And this is
Mr.
gonna make or break us.
Because you're prepared, Mr. Thayer, that you are going to leave if these children are not yours.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm supporting 3 of the kids that aren't mine, and I don't want to feel played in this situation to where I'm supporting the whole household and nobody's related to me. Nobody's my seed and to carry on my legacy. So.
All right, we're going to get to the DNA results in just a moment, but first I want to get to the lie detector. So we did, in fact, have her meet with a licensed polygraph expert. Let me have those lie detector results,
Yes,
please.
Judge.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Thayer, I have to ask you, is there anything you'd like to tell us before I read these results?
Like I said, the only people that I messed with was during the break that we had that he's talking about where I moved out.
Okay. Ms. Thayer, you were asked, in the last 4 years, have you had sexual contact with anyone other than the 2 men you have previously disclosed? You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive. Question number 2. Since the first time you had sex with Matthew Sr., have you had sexual intercourse with anyone other than him since then? You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive. Mr. Thayer?
You just gave me my answers. So that just puts more doubt in my mind that these kids aren't mine. Because Matthew doesn't look anything like me, neither does Cadence.
They look just like you. Everything, the chin, the cheeks, the shape of the face, everything.
Well, obviously you're lying, so we can't believe you. So.
Wow.
So, Ms. Thayer, this is difficult. Now, you pretty much failed both questions on the lie detector test. And that's why you're here in court today.
I understand.
You heard the phrase, the truth shall set you free. I'm going to ask you to free yourself and tell the truth. What is the truth? Because I could see that smirk on your face.
I've never cheated on him, but like I said during the break, it may have been more than 2 people. But I've never cheated on him. Like, I've never cheated on him while we were together.
She's lying
So,
about that. What else is she lying
the
about?
two-
Okay. So this is going way beyond. I see your body language. I sit in this bench day after day, and I know when people aren't being fully honest. It's all over you.
I see that too,
Is
Your
there
Honor.
anything
It's the
else
smells and-
you need to say?
I mean, I've done stuff to hurt him because he hurt me, and in the end, I'm only hurting them. And that's it. So, I mean, right now, it's not about me. It's not about my feelings. It's not about us. It's about our kids. And I need him to know that these are his kids.
And the last 4 years of my life weren't just wasted.
So as you talk about doing things to hurt him because you felt hurt, do you really know who both of these children, who their father is?
I am 1,000% sure that they are his kids.
And we've heard that 1,000 times too. So we know that the kids looking like me is not always 100% accurate. And then when people say they're 1,000% sure, it always goes left. At the end of the day, if they're not mine, I'm not gonna be with somebody I can't trust. And hopefully this fixes it, because I do have feelings for her, Your Honor. And I've spent like the last 4 years of my life, I've lost my family behind her, because they don't approve of her having multiple kids.
They don't approve of my color, my skin color. It's not, I've been harassed in my inbox on Facebook. I've been harassed face to face by his family about the color of my skin.
And I've addressed all those instances, Your Honor. I've told them all, and that's one of the reasons why I don't talk to them, because if they can't approve, if they can't be happy for me because I'm happy, then I don't need them in my life. Blood or not, I mean.
So you've pretty much chosen her over your family?
Yes, Your Honor. Behind these kids, because I thought I was gonna have a family and I thought I was gonna be able to build something with her. But the doubts in my mind, I need put to rest.
All right. That's what we're here to do. And I'll say the stakes could not be any higher here. Ron, I'd like to go to the results, please. We have 2 results.
There you go, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. The first result is for Cadence. In the case of Thayer v. Thayer, when it comes to 19-month-old Cadence Thayer, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Thayer, you are the father.
I told you.
One of them, one of the two.
I told you.
We still need matching. Just because one of them's mine doesn't mean I'm gonna stay.
It's the first time I've seen you smile today.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I have the second result for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Thayer versus Thayer, when it comes to 3-year-old Matthew Thayer Jr., it has been determined by this court, Mr. Thayer, you are the father.
I told you.
Can I give her a hug?
Absolutely.
I love you too.
I'm at ease now.
You look like it.
Yeah.
I could see you over there. You were a bundle of nerves. You really didn't know.
No. And that put a big old wedge between us. I think counseling would help that out.
And we have that for you. I want to say this to you both. You're still married.
Yes.
So you still have a shot at this.
I do want to have a family and I do want to build with her. And this just solidifies the fact that I'm not going to go nowhere.